Welcome to Coffee Break. My name is Michael Moret. So I'm going to tell you about when I was in first grade, Catholic grade school, and very strict nuns, And I can remember first grade, I wasn't interested in school. I was used to my freedom. I had a train track right in my backyard. For the first 5 years of my life, man, it was great. The train would go by the house every a few times a day, and I was always out there to watch it, and just the freedom that you have when you're a little child, and all of a sudden I'm in school, first grade, and they're teaching me all these things, or trying to teach me all these things. And I can remember one day, well, I always did this. I never paid attention. And so I was always drawing in my workbook. We all had a little workbook, and then we had to hand it in at the end of the day. And I used to just draw. I draw, make scribble designs and pictures and stuff like that. My mind was 100 miles away from what the nun was saying. I'll never forget that I got called up in front of the class one day. It was just the start of a new day, and I went up front, and I was told to bring my workbook, and then I was told to stand in front of the class and open my workbook and hold it above my head, wide open, so everybody could see what I did. And I can still remember the nun. I was in first grade, 7 years old, 61 years ago, and I can still remember hearing the nun say, "Class, this is what Michael did yesterday." And it was just all scribbling. I hadn't paid attention. I wasn't listening to her. I didn't get any trouble, as far as doing something horrible, but I just didn't care. I actually didn't care about schoolwork until I started going to Bible college. And then I finally, wow, this is really good. And then I aced it out. But I didn't listen, you see. And that is such a contrast to God, because he always listens. Listen to what 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 12 says, "For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers." So God's ears are open. If you're saved, you're a Christian. You have repented and received Christ as Lord and Savior. You don't have any unconfessed sins in your life, because that's the only thing that can separate your prayers from God and fellowship with God is unconfessed sin. So if you don't have that, his ears are attentive to what you're saying. Unlike me, with regards to that nun, I was not attentive. Jesus is just the exact opposite. He bends his ear down, cuffs his hands over his ear, and listens so carefully to everything that you say. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous person avails much. God will hear you if you pray. Never doubt that. He hears you. You might not get the answer that you want. You might not get it right away. You might never get it, because God knows what's best. But never doubt the fact that he hears you. So this has been Michael Moret with another Coffee Break.